To 0 Hour we go, and RJ City is a pervert, pass it on. After Sammy and Ty Mello promised to give the fans what they want and make out, scrummy scrum scrum, this is what happens to RJ City's face. It goes from disgust to, oh my God, yeah. Oh, baby, lick each other a little bit more. And then, of course, we have Sammy Guevara, who appears to have more than a penchant for just Ty Mello getting hit by a vehicle once again because he is a bastard cat with several existences. And to add to this WTF moment, Excalibur on commentary claims that Sammy, there he is, getting smashed to smithereens, is merely clipped. Which leaves me thinking you must have to explode into a billion pieces to be considered getting a proper hit by the masked man. First I'm thinking, no, AEW don't need any more signings. Fan with a sign, you silly goose. But then I'm thinking they clearly need a locker room leader and someone to mediate all the bitch fighting backstage. Wow! Crush Jackson, whoever the bollocks you are, come on down. Destination Hospital. Ruby, 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 ow, ow. That thing there where her neck bent the wrong way, I swear to God I saw that with my own eyes. It was horrible, and if that wasn't enough, by the end of the match, it looks like she's legitimately broken her nose. The AEW roster today appear to be cursed in so many different ways, and it's horrible to see. Best wishes to Ruby Ow Ow. Now, I don't want to stand here and completely write off a professional wrestling gimmick that we've only seen wrestle one match, but during this match, Kip Sabian asked that box that he's been wearing on his head for several months what to do in the midst of that professional wrestling match. He talks about super bad a lot. Yeah, because not only that, by the end of the match after Geordie Pack had beaten his weird arse, he was asking, or shouting at the box, I should say, what you doing, blah, 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 blah. It was really weird. Not only because it was a human man shouting at a cardboard box for advice and then blaming the cardboard box for losing a professional wrestling match, but also because so far that cardboard box has had no good advice for Kip Sabian whatsoever. For the last several months, that box has told Kip Sabian to sit in the front row and do absolutely nothing, which leads me to think he needs to rename himself Nip Sabian. Short for cat Nip Sabian, of course, because just like a cat on the nip, Kip Sabian appears to be off his rocker. And then we hear massive Finn Balor fan Tony Schiavone claiming that Geordie Pack, while on the top turnbuckle, is in position for the coup de grace. We know you, Dylan. If you didn't wind your neck in, Bonnie lad, I'll come down there and bite your bastard nose off because I'm the honey badger. And wow, Pac probably said. Dem chops in that Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii match. Those lines on Tomohiro's chest. The black stuff. It's like the mind flayer is starting to take over his being, and that's the reason he's doing horrible stuff to Eddie Kingston in Hawkins, Indiana. Roosh is either a massive idiot or he can tell the future. Or maybe, just maybe, and this might be because he's a professional wrestler, Wheeler Yuta is really bad at climbing ladders. Either way, Roosh standing there at the top of the ramp in a match where it's first man to grab the massive poker chip out the sky, and there's a man on the ladder on his way to get said poker chip. It makes as much sense as this. How was anybody else thinking Retribution had arrived in AEW at this point? Because let me tell you, I was. The crazy cats, weren't they, hey? But no, it was Stokely Hathaway and his Shawn Michaels impression. Look at that eye and all of his horses and all of his big sweaty men. And then to top all of that off with not professional wrestler, little manager, little man Stokely Hathaway holding the big chip from the sky, Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones starts playing on the speakers inside the arena, and the masked magician from the Secrets of Magic revealed, he waltzes down to the ring, and I am tripping serious balls. And I don't know about you at home, but when Hangman Page accepted that low five handshake from Nick Jackson, I was sat there saying, what the hell, man? Those heifers, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, Hangman, they ain't no good for you. You stick with your friends, buddy lad, the spooky perverts who turned into some nice ones. You're just thinking, what the hell is going on? Has everybody got Stockholm Syndrome up in this son of a bee? A couple of moments after all 6 of those men in that trios tag team match had done some professional wrestling things things while not abiding by the professional wrestling rules, and mere seconds after 4 of those men had done a 4-way super kick in the ring at the same time. This is the moment that referee Rick Knox decided, oh, I'm a referee, I better start doing referee things. He was telling the 2 men we're gagging to see finally fight or kiss, I can't quite work that one out. He was telling them, go back to your corners and get a legal tag. What are you doing, Rick Knox? Do it all the time or never at all? You, sir, are the worst. Aye. Right, what's next there then? Oh, this was really awkward, wasn't it? Athena hits her really protected finisher on Jade Cargill, but the baddies aren't there at the right moment. They're there a split second too late to pull Athena off of Jade Cargill, meaning Jade Cargill has to kick out of the really protected professional wrestling finisher. Awkward turtle shaky palm tree. I mean, did the baddies not see her eyes and her wings? I'm not looking back there because that's really terrifying, and it's clear that they are far. And now we're back to everybody's favorite professional wrestler, Rick Knox, not sending the baddies to the back after he watched the baddies pull Athena out of the ring in the midst of a bog standard singles match. And let me tell you, I would rather have Stevie Wonder refereeing my professional wrestling matches than Rick Knox, because you know the same stuff is going to get missed, because just like Rick Knox, Stevie Wonder is blind, but at least it's Stevie Wonder, so it'd be nice to have him there. But that kick on the guardrail by Athena to Layla Gray, and it's good that Athena rhymes with Shira, because that was one hell of a kick. Athena, I know you might be upset because they were a split second too late in pulling you off Jade, but it's just wrestling. It's just wrestling. It's not the shoot fighting. That's backstage. Moxley isn't fighting me, said CM Punk. Moxley's fighting Ace Steel. And I was thinking, nah, that's the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega taking on the dog-faced dog, isn't it? Allegedly. I mean, I'm stood here filming this video on Tuesday evening, so God knows what the latest is. It's a mess though, isn't it? It's a massive mess. Keith Lee getting booed. I never ever thought I would see the day, so grab 2 of your Larrys and head for the bastard border. The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh. I never thought I would see the day, unless of course Keith was a proper bona fide professional wrestling heel, having done something terrible like kick Larry the dog. But I tell you, the fact they did not call an audible in that arena and have the Acclaimed win and the crowd was as hot as the bastard sun, that for me is a very minor WTF moment. I don't know about you at home, but for me, the longer that match went on, the more it felt like it was just the right time to put the belts on the Acclaimed. But I guess now we'll have to wait till Full Gear, where surely the Acclaimed will be getting their titles at Full Gear. I mean, you think of a gearbox and you think of Full Gear and you think about the scissoring and you think about a Full Gear scissoring. Next up, we have the moment where Hikaru Shida was taken to the back under concussion protocol, was it? After a massive stomp to her head by Britt Baker on the bastard stage. Presumably, this is where the WTF moment happens. They get her backstage, they go, hello Shida, are you okay? She says, yes, I am okay. Let me go and do the wrestling. And they say, okay, you have a nice night there. That's not how it works, is it? You bunch of Dr. Nicks. So the story we've been told is that Luchasaurus pretended to be a dickosaurus by keeping Christian Cage fresh for a returning Jungle Boy, who would then beat the piss out of him. And now we get to the moment where Jungle Boy is just about to beat said piss out of said Christian Cage, and Luchasaurus turns into a dick brain once again. I was just thinking, master's degree my arse for so many issues. You've got to think Luchasaurus clearly isn't very clever, and also he's clearly not old enough to have a master's degree. It's clear that Luchasaurus, with his alleged 65 whatever billion years of age, he's actually a very emotional teenager with a lot of issues to work out. And now we have a Marv-spiracy. It's like a Tom-spiracy from back in the day, but it's Alex Marvez, and a very sassy one at that, because look at that pout. Now I just like how that match there was a straight-up professional wrestling match to prove who is the best professional wrestler in the world, because Shane McMahon is inactive, but don't tell anybody. But alleged professional wrestler, and definitely not alleged sports entertainer Bryan Danielson, he whaps out a proper sports entertainery entrance by having the caddy from Happy Gilmore sing him to the ring. There's only one word for that, dear viewer, and that word is hip hop anonymous. Aye. And I just love the fact we've got the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon on one side of the ring, Chris Jericho, Lionheart Chris Jericho. On the other side of the ring, we've got many people's best professional wrestler alive today, Bryan Danielson, a technical wizard. They're putting on a masterclass. There's technical submission holds, lots of wrestling prowess, proper serious stuff, but above their heads reads a message that really encapsulates the emotion, the drama, the prowess of the piece.
Grab his stick and twist it!
And of course, it wouldn't wouldn't be a WTF Moments video for an AEW pay-per-view without an honorary mention for Sting, who continues to move like he's 30 despite being 63 years of age. And you might be thinking, Ross, why? He didn't jump off a massive thing. But I'm here to say, go and watch that little sequence he did with Malachi Black. He was moving like he was 30 years of age, and every single time we do a pay-per-view with AEW, Sting gets a bit older, which means in theory it becomes more and more and more of a WTF moment. This time next year, he'll be 64 and wrestling like he's 28. He's a medical marvel. So then we get to the start of CM Punk's entrance. Look in my eyes, what do you see? And then we cut to this scene inexplicably. It's Moxley and his friend Willie. John's stretching and he's having a wee. He's twerking and Regal's filled with glee. That's the one I want, because I just imagine there William Regal looking at John Moxley doing the old twerking, thinking, ooh, 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 scrummy, scrum, scrum. Those buns are so tight, I'd love to take a bite when they're fresh out the oven. We have come to chew what? And speaking of things that people will be chewing, it is sure to be the fact that Renee Paquette will be chewing John Moxley's ass after this show, because he went and did it again. The blood on the hand, the licky blood. She hates that thing, yet he continues to do it, and he's a brave man. And then we get to the big reveal of the night, the reveal of the Joker, the voicemail from Tony Khan. I tell you, it was absolutely fantastic. So great, it was a WTF moment. But a good way. Because you sat there thinking, after what MJF said, surely MJF has to come back on his own terms, and anything else would not make any sense to the fact they put that in there. I think it's so brilliant, so I'm just here to sing wax lyrical about it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But of course, it also just confirms that Tony Khan is indeed a massive bitch. We all saw the press conference, didn't we? CM Punk walked all over that man, but this stuff with MJF, if you're a professional wrestler, you get a slight bit of popularity, go and do business with Tony Khan, because eventually you'll walk all over him. Do you want to give me a call, Tony? No. So I guess, yes, MJF coming back to work as a bit of a WTF moment, because the longer his absence went on, the bigger chance you thought him going to WWE would actually be. So he's back, he got off the plane, he's back to work. Oh. And then we get to the fact that MJF was having his name chanted like a baby face, even though I guess he was still a heel. He was flipping off the crowd and doing all sorts and whatnot. And he was in Chicago, and CM Punk was there. And CM Punk's the baby face heel kind of. A bit of a shock, wasn't it? And that big return happened. The show went off the air. They did a little press conference. No headlines were made. Everyone went home, had a nice sit down, and had a lovely rest of their Sunday evening. Apart from CM Punk, of course, who decided to air all of his laundry in public. And as we're stood here on Tuesday evening, it's still rumbling on. So I'm not going to bother commenting on it, because by the time this video goes live, the world will be completely different. So what's the point? Stuff is happening, and it's more interesting than the pay-per-view, which, by the way, was a solid pay-per-view, I thought. Not one of the best in AEW history, but very, very good indeed. All I know is CM Punk just walks all over Tony Khan while eating some lovely, delightful sweeties, in the words of Chris Eubank, which means we need to call him now Creamy Muffin Punk, and just rub it right in Tony Khan's face, because he sits there and does nothing. Unless, of course, by the time this goes live, he's done something to Punk and the Bucks and Omega, and, of course, lovely wholesome boy Ace Steel. I guess we'll have to see what happens there. But I guess that's it for the WTF moments from All Out 2022. If I've missed any, let me know in the comments down below, and I will cry myself to sleep. Please give this video a like. If you're feeling fruity, give it a share. If you can't think of what to comment, because comments help also, just put CM Punk is a lovely creamy muffin. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I like Regal too much on commentary, me. I've been Ross from Cultaholic Wrestling, and I'll see you soon. I don't know when, but I will.